continue on the subject with Texas Congressman Louis Gohmert. He's on the House Judiciary Committee. He says Twitter blocked a tweet from that committee, not from some guy on the street. They blocked it from the committee, Congressman. How are you, sir?
Well, I'm doing all right, but I'm very concerned about the activity of these IT monopolies. It's what they are. Yep. And in America, the only monopolies we allow are for patent and copyright, and only for a limited time. They should not be exempt. They have become publishers. They do edit. They do censor. And there also raises interesting questions, too. If crimes have been committed, and, you know, the allegation is that crimes were committed, and you had Twitter or any other, Facebook, Google, whatever, covering it up and attempting to hide, it might be analogous to somebody hiding a criminal. You become an accessory act after the fact, which means you could be charged as a principal as well. So this question of liability extends beyond civil liability. Right. Also could extend to criminal liability.
Well, so let's back up a sec. Obviously, most people know, but some people sitting at home haven't heard. What did Twitter take down for you guys?
Well, it was a tweeting out of the story from the New York Post about Hunter Biden's emails that were reportedly discovered.
And since have been corroborated by Fox.
Yeah, and then those emails indicated that, for example, that when Joe Biden, as vice president, or even before that as senator, was able to secure lucrative jobs for family members, the family members had to pay Joe half of what they brought in. And if that's what Hunter Biden did with the millions and millions he's made off of China, Ukraine, Moscow, and he's paying half of that to Joe Biden, then we do have some very, very serious criminal allegations that need to be investigated. And to have Twitter covering up instead of actually reporting and allowing these things to be published, they have become censors, they have become publishers, and they need to be available to lawsuits, and they need to be available for criminal activity in which they may be participating.
Yeah, well, so Congressman, here's the question though. You've seen the publisher versus platform argument. What if Twitter says, "This is my platform. You're free not to use it. I can do whatever I want"?
Well, that's fine, but they are not entitled to government immunity. It's a great question, and you're right. We want freedom in this country, but freedom means if you're going to be exempt from liability, as Section 230 provides, then you should be a town square where most anybody can come in and state whatever they want without being censored. So that's fine if that's what they want to do, but they need to be held accountable as a publisher when they censor things. Okay.
So the next legal question I have, obviously I don't even have an undergrad, so I'm not a lawyer, but you know, when you have the argument of like, well, it's private, it's my private platform, I can do what I want, I'm enjoying these protections. However, at what point are you considered mainstream communications and you're now kind of forced to provide free speech for everyone? Where does that line get drawn?
Well, that's just it. You can't be publishing material that is considered to be, for example, child pornography. We don't want them publishing that.
Right.
That's
Nobody does.
detrimental to our society. But these IT monopolies are claiming that liability exemption for everything, including political publications. And you know, if they don't want to publish something, that's fine. And we're seeing more and more people to move to Parler, for example, instead of Facebook. Hopefully that will be bigger in time and allow some real competition. But in one of our judiciary hearings where we had some IT executives, one of them made the mistake of saying, we want to be treated just like your Fox News. Well, it's not my Fox News, but I said exactly and Fox News can be sued for things that they inappropriately air, and you should be able to be sued just like Fox News.
Right.
And so that's what we're looking at. Sure, have the freedom, but you should not have an exemption from liability.
Yeah, you know, it just seems that conservatives cannot get a fair shake from big tech. But here's my question, sir, is, you know, if liberal causes could actually win on the merits of the argument and the realistic imposed implications of their policies, why would they need to censor conservative ideas?
You nailed it. That is a very important question. Why would they? Well, they wouldn't. But they can't win in public opinion if they allow completely honest presentations to be made. Once people see that you cannot have socialism without a totalitarian government that dictates your life, what you can do, whether you go to college, all these kind of things, unless we get to put the whole picture out there, then as the saying goes, you can vote yourself into socialism, but unfortunately, you have to shoot your way out.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate reality of these things, and I think big tech is trying to keep us from knowing that. Shifting gears, though, I want to we're in the home stretch of the presidential campaign, obviously. We've seen the polls, and some of them are just, you know, the same dumpster fire they were the last go-around. What do you think is going to happen on election night? Are we going to be waiting a month to find out who's the next president?
Well, on election night, it just feels like President Trump is going to win and win big. But what we're hearing is leadership of the Democrats is getting the word out. Look, even if it looks like on election night that President Trump won big in a landslide, don't be disheartened, because we're going to be producing ballots by the tens of thousands in the days after the election. So don't be disheartened if he looks like he won in a landslide. We're going to be coming in with enough ballots that we generate after the election that we can take it back. Yeah. And that will create just so much unrest. So hopefully the Democrats will think as much of the country as Republican officials have, that have decided not to divide America.
Yeah, they're more concerned about party than they are, you know, power than they are about, you know, the concern of the country. And it is a little disheartening. I hope that there is this shred of integrity still left on election night. We appreciate it, Congressman Louis Gohmert. Thank you for your time, sir.
Well, Stalin said, with power, dizziness, and we're seeing a lot of dizziness among the Democrats.
Yeah, well, Trump is the great grounder-in-chief of that. I appreciate it, sir.
Sure.
All right.